At 70 years old, Henry Walker stood outside the gates of his mansion, his suitcase heavy but his heart heavier. The empire he had built brick by brick, the wealth he had earned through sweat and sacrifice, all of it had been ripped away. The man behind the betrayal wasn't a rival businessman. It was his own stepson, Daniel White. Welcome to you on board. If you are new on the channel, please like and subscribe. Henry still remembered the first time he met Daniel. The boy was only 8 when Henry married his mother, Margaret. Daniel's biological father had abandoned them, leaving Margaret and her son to fend for themselves. Henry, a black man who had already begun to build his fortune in construction, welcomed them into his home. He raised Daniel as his own blood, gave him everything: love, security, and a future brighter than the boy could have imagined. Years later, when Margaret died, Henry thought the bond he shared with Daniel would hold. But time revealed the truth. As Daniel grew into a young man, greed replaced gratitude. He studied Henry's every move, every document, every signature. And when the time came, he struck. Through lies and forged papers, Daniel seized control of the company, the properties, the accounts. Piece by piece, he stripped Henry of everything, until the old man had nothing left but the clothes on his back. Finally, with cruelty sharper than any knife, Daniel ordered him out of his own house. That night, Henry became what he had never imagined he could be: homeless. The man who once raised towers now slept on the cold pavement, a shadow of his former self. But fate had not abandoned him. One evening, a familiar voice called his name. It was David Walker, Henry's nephew. Shocked to see his uncle on the streets, David rushed him to his own modest home. Unlike Daniel, David had always admired Henry's strength and kindness. With fierce determination, he vowed to restore his uncle's honor. David introduced Henry to his close friend, Samuel Brooks, a sharp lawyer with a reputation for taking down the corrupt. Together they dug into Daniel's fraud, the forged signatures, the illegal transfers, the manipulation that had stolen Henry's empire. The courtroom battle was brutal, but the truth was undeniable. Witnesses spoke, evidence piled up, and Daniel's empire of lies crumbled. In the end, the judge's gavel struck like thunder. Daniel White was sentenced to prison. When Henry walked out of the courthouse that day, his nephew by his side, the old man lifted his head high. He had lost wealth, a home, and the son he thought he had, but he had gained something far greater: the proof that betrayal cannot erase a lifetime of honor. Henry Walker was no longer homeless. He was restored, respected, and reborn. And as he looked toward the skyline, the one he had built with his own hands, he whispered to himself, "Steel can bend, but it does not break. And neither do I." Comment in the comment box if you know anyone experienced the same.